Trisha Paytas has said and done a lot of offensive things during her time here on the internet. She's pretty much built her entire career off of saying shocking things, knowing she'll trigger people and get them talking about her. Some of the things that Trisha has said and done would get any other influencer canceled in a second. Yet for some reason, Trisha does these things over and over again, and she's still around. Trisha even describes herself as the internet's cockroach because you can't get rid of her.
Did Trisha Paytas quit YouTube? You would think so, because you probably can't find my videos, but no, I still post. I post three times a week on 3 different channels. I'm very much here. But yeah, I'll never quit. I'm like the cockroach. Always gonna be around.
In the end, her making these shocking videos just ends up as money for her, so she's never really cared about being canceled. There's even been an increase of people in the comments of drama videos who say, you know, let's not talk about Trisha anymore. We know she's like this, we know she does it for attention, so let's stop giving it to her. And I think a lot of channels are actually starting to do that. There's been a huge decrease in Trisha Paytas' content recently, despite her always poking the bear and trying to get people talking about her. But some things are just so shocking and so wrong that you can't ignore them. And this is one of those times. On May 24th, only hours after the tragedy at Robb Elementary in Texas, Trisha posted a video titled, "Why I Won't Send My Kids to Public School." Right away, Trisha received tons of backlash. People felt like she was taking this devastating situation and trying to find a way to make it about herself. She also shared the video to Twitter, and that's where she got the majority of the backlash. You seriously have to make everything about you, don't you? Turn a tragedy into a way for you to post a video. Such an opportunist. Girl, really? It's not about you. People lost their kids today. Read the room. It literally just happened and people are still in shock, yet you found a way to make it about you. And that's exactly what Trisha did. The second she heard about what happened, she instantly turned it into something about herself.
My husband sent me a text and was like, our child will not go to public school. Because like we had debated about public school, on one hand, it's like, well, I just hate public school. But on one hand, it does help you socialize and like, you get to do projects and team things and stuff like that. And like, yeah, but we've always kind of leaned more on the not going to public school for a variety of reasons. It was horrible for me.
She wasn't tweeting links to credible news sources. She wasn't linking GoFundMes. She wasn't linking articles about how we can make a real change. She wasn't sharing any resources. The only thing Trisha did share was a text from her husband Moses, where he said, "Definitely no public schools, another school today." And Trisha said, "I saw never." Now look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being in shock and having fears. There's nothing wrong with being afraid and wishing you didn't have to send your kids to public school. But the issue is so much bigger than that, and Trisha doesn't seem to either understand or care. It's also like, read the room. Parents just lost their kids who had to attend public school and weren't as fortunate as you are to be able to send your kid to some fancy private school in California. We know you're well off. We know you can afford it. No one needed this video right now. Her entire video was extremely ignorant. Trisha pretty much said the solution to this problem is getting rid of public schools.
What do we change about this? Because all the stuff I read is all conflicting. There's just no solution, basically. I just think they need to do away with public schools.
Which is completely privileged of her to even think that that's a solution. Not everyone can afford to send their kids to private school. Some private schools are upwards of $50,000 a year, which is more than a lot of people even make in an entire year. Getting rid of public schools is like saying that kids that weren't born into super rich families should be deprived of an education to keep the rich kids safe. And now that I actually say that out loud, it sounds so much worse. Why does Trisha think this couldn't possibly happen at a private school? It's still a classroom full of kids. Does she think that just because these kids come from wealthier families that there's no way it could ever happen? Because it still happens. It happens everywhere. One comment under Trisha's video pointed that out and said, "Don't ever take your kids to get groceries, a mall, a church, a park, a movie theater, or anywhere else where people gather, because these things happen anywhere. Schools aren't the problem." Trisha then went on to say that her tax dollars need to stop going to building freeways and instead go to putting security in schools.
And they just, we pay so much in taxes. Everybody pays so much in taxes, specifically California. It's like, where do those tax dollars need to go instead of building more freeways? It needs to go to like security in schools, checking bags, people at the door, like actual security people who like tackle people, not just people who I've seen.
Trisha kept brainstorming all these ways to stop this from happening again, like security guards in schools, getting rid of public schools, homeschooling, but she never really considered the one thing that could actually stop this from happening again.
Is the fact that there's no solution. There's no, like, what are we doing to fix this? And there's just absolutely nothing. And I see people talk about, ban all guns and, anti laws, and then combats with people. Well, people are going to find whether they're illegal or not. I'm not on either side of it. I don't know the answer. If it stopped mass, I would say ban all guns, yes. But like people say, like people will just find the guns, and like the wrong people have, and the people who are on the right side of things won't have access, and then it's a really bad situation. So I don't know the answer to that. And that's why politics in general there's no win. There's no answer.
The thing is, Trisha doesn't care about fixing anything. And she even admitted that earlier this week when she tweeted, "I feel like I'm the only one on Twitter completely disinterested in politics. Like, I hate hearing political takes, lol. Maybe I'm just an idiot, ignorant, or both. I don't comprehend anything anyone says about parties, laws, bans, etc. I'm the perfect example of not everyone should vote." This is a tweet coming from someone in America who's about to be a mother of a baby girl. If Trisha doesn't want to be interested in politics for herself or for the people around her, she should at least be interested in it for her daughter's future. Saying you shouldn't be able to vote and hate politics just because it doesn't affect you is incredibly selfish. Trisha seems to care so much about her tax dollars going to highways, but doesn't even know what each political party stands for or how they're spending her tax dollars. You would think if anything, Trisha would at least care about that and take some interest in politics. There was a comment left under Trisha's video about this that I thought was worded perfectly, which said, "Having a child and a daughter at that, you can't continue to not take part in society and politics. How are you going to prepare your child for the world and be educated about your own rights and her rights if you don't know anything about the running of the country you live in? Choosing to be ignorant is not acceptable anymore. What kind of world will she be living in, and how are you going to justify not doing your part for her future? Learn, read, get involved. Use your platform to create change. Vote for the people who will improve your daughter's future." There really is no excuse. It's not cute to pretend not to care. It's so easy to learn about different parties and research who you're voting for and where you need to put your votes to see the change that you want to see. There's even quizzes online for people who are just starting out and have no idea which way they lean. There's no excuse. Trisha is a grown woman. She's about to be a mother. Just because you have all the money in the world and all these problems don't affect you and you can pretend like the world is perfect doesn't mean it is. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna have a bunch of links down below and pinned in the comments, so please check them out. There's gonna be a bunch of different resources, like ways that you can help the families in Texas, and links to GoFundMes. Stay safe, guys, and I'll see you next time.